Chosen one, there is a moment before everything changes, a moment that looks like nothing from the outside. The sun still rises the same way, the birds still call in the early hours, your coffee tastes the same, your shoes sit by the same door. The world looks completely ordinary, utterly unremarkable, a grey Tuesday that resembles 10,000 other grey Tuesdays before it. And yet, beneath the surface of that ordinary Tuesday, something is moving, something ancient, something intentional. Something that has been in motion long before you were born, long before your name existed, long before the particular shape of your longing took form inside your chest. God says sit down, not because you are weak, not because you have failed, not because the road ahead is too hard for you to walk. He says sit down because what is coming is so large, so overwhelming in its beauty and its weight, that if you are standing when it arrives, it might knock you off your feet. He would rather you be seated, settled, anchored in stillness. Because the wave that is headed toward your life is not punishment, it is not a trial dressed in the clothing of blessing, it is the real thing, the actual thing, the thing you stopped allowing yourself to hope for somewhere around the third year of waiting, somewhere between the silence and the struggle, somewhere in that dark corridor where prayer felt like shouting into an empty building. You are the chosen one, and before you dismiss that, before your mind rushes to all the reasons that cannot possibly be true, understand what chosen means in the vocabulary of heaven. It does not mean perfect. It does not mean you never doubted. It does not mean your record is clean or your history is tidy or your faith never wavered in the wind. Chosen means selected with full knowledge. Chosen means God looked at the complete version of you, the version that includes your 3 a.m. breakdowns, your quiet betrayals, your seasons of wandering, your closets full of unfinished things and abandoned attempts, and He said this one. Out of every soul on the earth at this precise moment in history, He saw you in your fullness, and He chose you anyway. Not in spite of all of it, with all of it factored in. The enemy knows this before you do. That is why the opposition has been so fierce. That is why the last season felt like warfare dressed in ordinary clothing. That is why relationships collapsed that seemed solid. That is why doors closed that seemed certain. That is why the ground beneath your dreams seemed to shift without warning. The enemy does not waste ammunition on people who are not a threat. The level of resistance you have faced is in itself a kind of confirmation. Hell does not mobilize its forces against people who are going nowhere. The attack is the indicator. The pressure is the proof. The fire you have walked through was not random. It was strategic, because what is in you is strategic, and what is coming through you is strategic, and the enemy understood your assignment before you did. Now God is saying sit down. Receive. Stop striving for just a moment. Stop trying to manufacture the breakthrough with your own hands. Stop circling the same mountain with the same anxious energy, convinced that if you stop moving it will all fall apart. It will not fall apart. You are not holding this together. You never were. The one who called you is the one who maintains the call. The one who chose you is the one who protects the chosen. Your job in this season is not to figure out the logistics of the miracle. Your job is to be still long enough to receive it when it lands. Think about the nature of what happens just before something massive enters your life. Think about the hush. Think about the way the atmosphere changes before a storm of a different kind. Not the destroying kind, but the nourishing kind. The kind that breaks a drought, the kind that the earth has been groaning for. There is a particular quality to that stillness, a thickness to the air, a sense of something gathering just beyond what the eye can see. That is where you are right now. You are in the hush. You are in the holy pause before the outpouring. And if you are not careful, you will fill that hush with noise. You will fill it with worry and with plans and with the voices of people who cannot see what God sees. You will talk yourself out of the threshold. You will mistake the silence for absence and start running in the wrong direction just moments before everything breaks open. Sit down. What is about to hit your life is massive in the dimension of provision. Understand that the God who clothes the lilies of the field and feeds the sparrows has been auditing your needs. Every bill that felt impossible. Every month that you made it through and could not explain how. Every morning you woke up with nothing on paper but something in your spirit that said keep going. God has been cataloging that. He is not unaware of what you have lacked. He is not indifferent to the gap between where you are and where you believed you would be by now. The provision that is coming is not a trickle designed to keep you barely afloat. It is a flood. It is the kind of overflow that spills into the lives of everyone around you. It is the kind of financial shift that makes you the answer to someone else's prayer. It is the kind of abundance that becomes the testimony, not just for you but for your children, for your children's children. For the people watching your life from a distance who stopped believing that God still does things like this. What is about to hit your life is massive in the dimension of healing. And this is where I need you to sit very still, because healing is coming for things you stopped asking about. Things you filed away under the category of permanent. Things you made peace with because making peace felt more dignified than continuing to hope and continuing to be disappointed. The body that has been struggling. The mind that has been carrying weight it was never designed to carry. The grief that settled in and began to feel like a resident rather than a visitor. The wound that never fully closed. God is moving in all of it, not just the symptoms, the root. He is going all the way down to the root of the thing, and what comes up when he is done will look nothing like what went in. Wholeness is not the absence of a scar. Wholeness is when the scar no longer has a voice, when it can no longer speak into your choices and your relationships and your sense of what you deserve. That kind of healing is what is coming. Not a patch, a restoration. What is about to hit your life is massive in the dimension of relationships. God is about to realign your relational world in ways that will feel sudden but have been in preparation for years. The people who were never supposed to stay are already leaving, and some of them have already gone, and you have grieved them, and that grief was real and valid, and God honored it. But now comes the other side of that clearing. Now come the covenant connections. The people who are carrying what you need and need what you are carrying. The friendships that feel like home. The partnerships that multiply rather than diminish. The love that does not require you to be smaller than you are. The collaborators, the companions, the community that was always supposed to surround the life you are living. They are being moved into position even now. Some of them are praying the same prayers you are praying. Some of them are asking God for someone exactly like you. The alignment is already happening. You will look back on this season and see it clearly, how every ending was a making of room. What is about to hit your life is massive in the dimension of purpose. There has been a calling on your life that has remained partially concealed even from you. You have seen glimpses of it. You have felt it in the moments when you were doing something and time disappeared. You have felt it in the specific ache you carry for certain people, certain problems, certain parts of the world that break your heart in a way that nothing else does. That ache is not an accident. That specificity is not a coincidence. That thing that breaks your heart is a clue about what God put your hands here to fix. And what is coming is a platform for that. A door that is not a crack in the wall but an actual door, wide open, well lit, with your name written over the frame. The kind of opportunity that looks, from the outside, like luck. The kind that insiders know is the fruit of years of preparation that happened mostly in private, mostly in the hiddenness, mostly in the seasons where no one was watching and no one was applauding, and you kept going anyway. You kept going anyway. Do you understand what that means? Do you understand the significance of the fact that you are still here, still reading this, still carrying the fire even after everything that tried to put it out? That is not ordinary human resilience. That is the grace of God keeping alive in you something that heaven has determined must survive. You did not preserve yourself through those seasons. You were preserved, you were kept. There is a difference between surviving because you were strong enough and surviving because something outside of you decided you would not be allowed to fall. You were not allowed to fall. The falling that felt like falling was actually repositioning. The loss that felt like loss was actually the removal of weight you could not have carried into where you are going. And now you are here, on the edge of it, on the precipice of a chapter that the earlier chapters were always building toward. And God is saying, sit down, not because nothing will be required of you, but because the first requirement of this new season is to receive, to open your hands and your heart and your mind and simply receive what is being given. You have been in giving mode, you have been in striving mode, you have been in please God let me prove I deserve this mode. And all of that is finished now. You do not need to prove anything. The chosen one does not negotiate their own election. They receive it, they walk into it, they become it. There is something else God wants you to know in this moment, something that is easy to miss in the excitement of what is coming. The massive thing that is about to hit your life will come with a weight of responsibility that matches its size. Blessing at scale is stewardship at scale. Influence at scale is accountability at scale. The platform will carry requirements. The provision will carry purpose. The relationships will carry the expectation of being tended well, of being honored, of being protected with the same care that God used in assembling them. What is coming is not a reward for good behavior that you simply cash in and spend. It is an assignment. It is an upgrade in assignment. And the version of you that is required to carry this assignment well is the version that has been in formation through every hard thing you have walked through. The suffering was not meaningless, it was curriculum, it was the specific coursework for this specific calling. You have been in school and you did not always know it. The betrayal was a class on discernment. The loss was a class on what endures and what does not. The seasons of obscurity were a class on finding your identity apart from performance, apart from applause, apart from the validation of an audience. The financial wilderness was a class on trust and on the difference between what you can build with human hands and what can only be constructed by divine hands. Every class was difficult. Every class had moments where you wanted to walk out. You did not walk out. You sat in the discomfort and you let it do its work, even when you did not know it was working, even when it felt like pure loss with no pedagogical purpose. And now you are standing at graduation, even if it does not feel like a ceremony yet, even if the confetti has not fallen, even if the crowd has not gathered. The degree has already been conferred. The credential is in your spirit. The preparation is complete, and the deployment is imminent. God sees every single thing you are carrying into this next season. He sees the scar tissue on your faith, the places where hope was wounded and did not quite fully recover. He is not offended by that. He is not disappointed by the limp. Jacob limped after he wrestled with God, and he walked into his destiny limping, and the limp was itself the testimony. The people who will be impacted by your life do not need your polished, unbroken version. They need the version that went through the fire and came out with the smell of smoke still on its clothing, still standing, still believing, still willing to tell the story. Your wound is part of the witness. Your scar is part of the sermon. The fact that it almost took you out and it did not, the fact that you stood at the edge of giving up and you turned around and came back, that is the part of your story that will unlock something in people who are standing at the same edge right now, looking into the same abyss, wondering if there is any point in turning back. You are the point. You turning back was the point. You making it through was the point. And everything that is coming is going to make more sense of everything that you went through. The narrative of your life is about to become coherent in a way it has never been before. Things that happened 10 years ago that seemed random and painful and purposeless are about to find their meaning. You are going to have a moment, perhaps many moments, where you look back at the timeline of your life and you see the hand, the invisible hand that was guiding even the pieces that looked like chaos. The job you lost was guiding you. The relationship that ended was guiding you. The door that would not open, no matter how hard you knocked, was guiding you. Every no was a directional signal. Every closed door was a redirection. And the road that felt like detour was actually the road. Now receive this. Let it settle in your bones. Let it go past the intellectual level and land in the place where you actually live, in the place where fear lives and doubt lives and the tired, bruised version of hope lives. Let this reach that place. What is about to hit your life is massive. It is real, it is prepared, it is time. And you are ready, not because you feel ready. Readiness rarely feels like anything, but because the one who makes all things ready has done his work in you and through you and around you, and the season of preparation is giving way to the season of manifestation. So sit down. Take a breath, let your shoulders drop from around your ears, let the clenching in your jaw release, let the vigilant, anxious watchfulness that has kept you in a state of tension for so long begin to soften. You do not have to brace for impact in the old way. This is not something to brace against, this is something to open to. This is the rain after the drought. This is the morning after the longest night. This is the part of the story where everything that was promised begins to be delivered, not in installments, not in part, but in full. Pressed down, shaken together, running over. You are the chosen one. God looked at the whole earth in this particular moment in history with all of its needs and all of its brokenness, and He chose you to be here. He chose you to carry what you carry. He chose you to go where you are going. He chose you to reach who you are going to reach. He chose you to build what you are going to build. He chose you to love the people you are going to love. He chose you to speak the words that are going to shift things in the lives of people you have not yet met. And He says to you now, in the hush before the wave, in the holy stillness before the massive thing lands, He says, sit down, be still, know that I am God, know that I have you, know that what is coming is good, completely and unreservedly good, the kind of good that your mind cannot fully construct yet, the kind of good that is going to exceed your imagination. It is coming, it is already in motion, you are already chosen. Sit down and receive it.